This is Overtime Inside Fantasy Sports of 401. Randall The Handle, Matthew Cauz, Gareth Wheeler with you. Randall, the story may make you at home blow chunks because it made Randall's brother hurl on Sunday.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
Pro Picks, a local lottery. You got to pick them all right. He had every single one except the Miami Dolphins, and there was a big payoff at the end of that. So a heartbreaking loss.
That Roethlisberger, that touchdown fumble, yeah.
I still disagree with the way that the referees, I know they defended it. It's being talked out each and every way. I still disagree.
The Steelers have a genie that follows them around. They do this time and time and time again, always to that team.
Listen, they had Neil O'Donnell for a couple of years, so everything's even now.
So this week, Randall pointed out to me off air here that the favorites are the home team in each and every game this week. That's kind of weird, Randall.
It is weird, and there's a lot of teams that you wouldn't think to be favored that are favored. Oakland's favorite, St. Louis is favorite, Detroit is favorite. These are teams that last year didn't have a win until November, and now here we are a year later, and they're all favored at home.
A lot of people I know, when I look at the week, I look at those home dogs. That's the first thing I look for to find value. So what do you recommend for this week?
Well, I would look at some money plays with the underdogs on the road here because you got a lot of close games. You can take $1.60, $1.80 in these games where you just have to win the game. Usually that 2 or 3 point spread is not going to affect the outcome. The winner will get the money, and then you're getting juice on a team if you like an underdog.
One that I like, and I know I got killed for this, but I kind of like the Raiders in this one only because Seattle is such a horrible team on the road. At home, they play so much better than their talent because it's one of the few stadiums that actually has a real home field advantage with the crowd. So them traveling on the road, the Raiders looked really good last week. The confidence in this, and just the offense, it looks more in sync. It's a simpler offense. Campbell's starting to learn his role, not trying to do too much. McFadden looked great, and even if McFadden doesn't play well, they still got Bush there, so I like them.
All of a sudden, Oakland's sexy because of that 59 last week. You got to be a little bit careful when that happens.
Well, interceptions, fumbles, they went down early.
59?
The Broncos couldn't get out of that hole.
What, do you trust Seattle on the road?
They just won on the road.
Do you trust them to win twice in the road?
Well,
exactly.
I like the way that they played in Chicago. Each and every week at this time, we try to give you a recommendation for a survivor pool. I don't know how many people are still in their survivor pools. A whole lot of people get knocked out last week with the Cleveland Browns beating the New Orleans Saints. This is the week, in my eyes, you roll with the Kansas City Chiefs over the Buffalo Bills. I'm not buying this whole Buffalo rejuvenation. They were coming off a bye week, playing against Baltimore, who was looking ahead to their bye week. Buffalo's a sitting duck here in their second week in a row on the road.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and logically you're making sense. But I'd be a little more careful because Buffalo is getting a little bit better, and Kansas City to cover by
smoke and mirrors.
They got to cover by more than a touchdown 2 weeks in a row. That's a big order for a young team. I'd look more at the Dallas Cowboys, who are being discounted simply because Kitna's in the lineup, starting for Romo, who's out, of course. So this line would have been a 10 or 11?
Yeah, Jacksonville is such a horrible team. I understand that. I think, though, you're right about the Chiefs. I don't know if they cover, but I think they're going to win this game. Actually, I'm fairly sure they're going to win this game. And again,
fairly sure.
Well,
that's how all these suicide.
No, I understand that. What I mean is, a lot of people are going to be worried because everyone is going to be going on Kansas City. So that always makes you nervous. But at this point in the survival pool, in a season that's all about parity, I think you have to go Kansas City. You probably haven't used them yet, and you probably would not use Kansas City in another week than at home against Buffalo. This is the time to take them.
Buffalo's going to win somewhere.
Why? Detroit didn't win a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was the first time in how many years?
Since 1976.
Buffalo will win this season when monkeys fly out my butt. That's all I'm going to say.
I feel bad for those monkeys.
Listen to Randall The Handle Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on the Fan 590. It's Inside the Lines with Jory Middlestat and Steve Rapp. And I'll learn how to talk by next week. Peace.